Have you ever wondered what it would be like to witness a scene so absurd it feels like something straight out of a surreal dream? Picture this: a polar bear, a defenseless giraffe, and a giant snake. Sounds like a movie plot, right? But what if I told you this insane story holds an unexpected lesson about how we respond to what happens around us? In this video, you're going to find out how this unlikely tale reveals a lot about human behavior, and what makes us, at times, so indifferent to the things that really matter. And it's not just entertainment. Get ready for some reflections that might just change how you see the world. If you love stories that challenge logic and make you think, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. Now, let's dive into this bizarre adventure and see what really happened. The golden hues of the African savanna stretched endlessly under the scorching sun, where acacia trees dotted the horizon like scattered memories of shade. Life here thrived in a delicate balance, a tapestry woven with the rhythms of predator and prey, survival and symbiosis. Yet, amidst this familiar landscape, an anomaly had silently taken root. A polar bear, an embodiment of icy realms, now found itself in the heart of this sunburned expanse. Barnaby, the polar bear, was a sight that defied the natural order. His thick white fur shimmered under the African sun, a stark contrast against the earthy tones of the savanna. How he arrived here remained a mystery, an unanswered question that echoed through the grasses and whispered among the trees. Barnaby wandered alone, his large paws sinking slightly into the warm soil, his presence an enigma to the local wildlife. The animals of the savanna were creatures of habit and instinct. Lions lounged lazily in the shade, zebras grazed in herds, and elephants meandered with majestic grace. Barnaby, however, moved with a hesitance born of displacement. His world had been one of icebergs and snowdrifts, not the sprawling grasslands and endless skies of Africa. Each day, he watched the sunrise over the savanna with a mixture of awe and longing, yearning for a place where he truly belonged. Among the inhabitants of this vast land was Zara, a young giraffe with a coat of intricate patterns that mirrored the intricate designs of the savanna's flora. Zara was different from her peers. Her curiosity was insatiable, her spirit unbound by the conventions that held others in check. When Barnaby first appeared, she was the only one who took notice. While the other animals regarded him with a mix of confusion and indifference, Zara saw something more, a kindred spirit lost in an alien world. Zara would often find herself watching Barnaby from a distance, intrigued by his solitary existence. She would bend her long neck to observe him, noticing the way his eyes held a depth of sorrow and resilience. In return, Barnaby sensed her presence, her gentle curiosity a balm to his isolation. They existed in parallel, two souls adrift in a landscape that neither fully understood. One particularly sweltering afternoon, as the sun reached its zenith, Barnaby sought refuge beneath the scant shade of an acacia tree. He was quietly contemplating his existence when a sudden rustle in the underbrush caught his attention. Before he could react, a colossal serpent, its scales shimmering like liquid emeralds, slithered into view. The snake was unlike any creature the savanna had ever seen, a behemoth that exuded both grace and menace. Panic rippled through the grasslands as the serpent's presence threatened the fragile harmony of the ecosystem. The animals froze, paralyzed by fear or overwhelmed by the unprecedented danger. Zara, however, was momentarily distracted by her fascination with Barnaby, leaving her vulnerable. The serpent's gaze fixed on her, and with lightning speed, it struck. In that critical moment, Barnaby's instincts took over. Without hesitation, he surged forward, his powerful limbs propelling him towards the threat. The clash between ice and earth, predator and predator, unfolded in a spectacle of raw power and determination. The battle was fierce, each combatant driven by an innate will to survive and protect. As the dust settled and the serpent lay defeated, Barnaby stood victorious, his chest heaving with exertion. Zara, shaken but unharmed, looked up at him with a mixture of gratitude and newfound respect. For the first time, Barnaby felt a flicker of acceptance, a glimmer of connection in the vast loneliness that had defined his existence. But as the sun began to set, painting the savannah in shades of amber and crimson, Barnaby awaited the recognition he believed he deserved. Instead, the other animals returned to their routines, indifferent to the heroics that had just unfolded. The isolation that once seemed unassailable pressed down on him once more, leaving him to ponder the true meaning of belonging in this strange new world. As dawn broke the next morning, the savannah buzzed with a renewed energy. The events of the previous day had left an indelible mark on the collective consciousness of the animal community. Whispers of the colossal serpent and the mysterious polar bear who had slain it spread like wildfire across the vast grasslands. Leo, the majestic lion who reigned as the unofficial king of the savannah, convened a meeting beneath the sprawling branches of an ancient baobab tree. His golden mane shimmered in the early light as he addressed the gathered animals, his voice commanding yet laced with uncertainty. "We have witnessed something extraordinary," Leo began, his eyes scanning the diverse assembly. "A threat unlike any we've faced before, and a savior who comes from nowhere. We must understand what this means for us." Among the attendees were Ellie, a wise and matriarchal elephant with years of experience guiding her herd through countless seasons, and Keto, a swift and cunning cheetah known for his sharp instincts and quick thinking. Their presence underscored the significance of the event that had transpired. Ellie stepped forward, her large ears twitching thoughtfully. "Leo, while we all recognize the bravery shown, we must also consider the implications of having a polar bear among us. He is not one of our own, and his presence disrupts the natural order." Keto, ever the skeptic, chimed in, "Disrupts the natural order. Or perhaps challenges it. Maybe there's more to his story than mere coincidence." Leo nodded slowly, absorbing their perspectives. "Regardless of the reason, we cannot ignore what has happened. Barnaby saved Zara and potentially many others from a deadly fate. Yet, he remains an outsider." Meanwhile, in a secluded part of the savannah, Barnaby found solace beneath the same acacia tree he had sought refuge in the day before. The events of the battle replayed in his mind, mingling with the harsh reality of his continued isolation. He glanced toward Zara, who was grazing nearby, her long neck gracefully swaying as she reached for tender shoots. Zara approached him cautiously, her eyes reflecting a mixture of admiration and concern. "Barnaby," she began softly, "you saved my life yesterday. I can't thank you enough." Barnaby offered a tentative smile, his large paws resting gently on the ground. "I was only doing what felt right. But I don't understand why no one else seemed to care." Zara nuzzled his side affectionately. "Perhaps they are still processing it. But you did something incredible, and that doesn't go unnoticed by me." As their bond deepened, the other animals remained divided in their opinions. Some admired Barnaby's strength and bravery, while others viewed him with suspicion and fear. The savannah, a place of inherent diversity, was now grappling with the concept of acceptance and unity in the face of the unknown. One afternoon, as Barnaby and Zara explored a particularly lush area of the savannah, they stumbled upon a hidden oasis. Crystal clear water sparkled under the sunlight, surrounded by vibrant flora that seemed almost otherworldly. It was a sanctuary, untouched by the chaos that occasionally erupted elsewhere. As they rested by the water's edge, Zara shared stories of her childhood, tales of migrating herds and the changing seasons. Barnaby listened intently, finding comfort in her openness and the safe space they had discovered together. For the first time since his arrival, he felt a semblance of belonging. However, tranquility was short-lived. Dark clouds began to gather on the horizon, and an uneasy silence fell over the oasis. The ground trembled subtly, and a low growl resonated through the air. From the shadows emerged a figure both familiar and menacing, another serpent, smaller but no less threatening than the one Barnaby had defeated. This time, the serpent did not approach with aggression but rather slithered with a purposeful intent, its eyes fixed on Barnaby. The tension in the air was palpable as the two predators faced off once more, their destinies intertwined in ways neither could yet comprehend. Before either could make a move, Zara stepped between them, her presence acting as a barrier. "Stop," she cried, her voice echoing with authority. "There is no need for more violence. We can find another way." The serpent paused, its tongue flickering as it considered her words. Barnaby, too, hesitated, the memory of their previous encounter fresh in his mind. The Savannah held its breath, awaiting the outcome of this unexpected standoff. The tension at the Oasis was thick, each moment stretching interminably as Zara stood resolute between Barnaby and the approaching serpent. The creature's eyes, cold and calculating, met Barnaby's unwavering gaze. The Savannah seemed to hold its breath, the usual sounds of wildlife muted by the gravity of the standoff. Zara took a deep breath, her long neck craning as she addressed the serpent. "We don't need more bloodshed. There's enough hardship without adding to it. Let us find a way to coexist." The serpent recoiled slightly, its forked tongue flickering uncertainly. Barnaby remained still, his powerful frame poised but not aggressive. The air was charged with anticipation, every creature around them waiting to see what would unfold next. After what felt like an eternity, the serpent slowly lowered its head, its eyes softening. "Perhaps there is merit in your words, young giraffe," it hissed, its voice a blend of menace and contemplation. "But trust must be earned. Why should I believe that your peace is genuine?" Zara met the serpent's gaze with unwavering confidence. "Because true strength lies not in domination, but in understanding and cooperation. We can help each other survive in this ever-changing savannah." Barnaby stepped forward, his presence adding weight to Zara's plea. "We've all faced challenges here. Together, we can overcome them without resorting to violence." The serpent seemed to consider this, its scales glinting in the dappled sunlight filtering through the trees. Finally, it nodded slowly. "Very well. We will give this peace a chance. But know this, any betrayal will not be tolerated." With that, the serpent retreated into the shadows, disappearing as mysteriously as it had arrived. A collective sigh of relief echoed through the Oasis, the immediate threat averted by Zara's bravery and Barnaby's silent support. As the animals began to disperse, a sense of cautious optimism lingered in the air. The incident had left its mark, prompting many to reflect on their interactions and the potential for unity amidst diversity. Later that evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the savannah, Barnaby and Zara sat by the water's edge. The Oasis was peaceful once more, the earlier tension giving way to a serene calm. Zara turned to Barnaby, her eyes shining with gratitude. "You were incredible today. Without your help, none of this might have been possible." Barnaby shrugged modestly, his large frame hunched slightly. "I was only doing what felt right. It's nice to know someone appreciates it." Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of Leo, the lion, who approached with a measured gait. His regal presence commanded attention, and his golden mane seemed to catch the last rays of sunlight. "Barnaby, Zara," Leo began, his voice steady. "Your actions have not gone unnoticed. We need to discuss how we can move forward together." Barnaby felt a mix of hope and apprehension. The lion's acknowledgement was a significant step, but the path to acceptance was still fraught with challenges. As the trio sat down under the baobab tree, the savannah around them seemed to breathe a collective sigh of relief. For the first time, there was a tangible sense of possibility, a future where differences could be bridged and alliances formed. Unbeknownst to them, hidden in the dense foliage nearby, eyes watched their every move. A figure cloaked in shadows observed the developments with a calculating mind, already plotting the next move in a game that none of them fully understood. The night sky above was clear, stars twinkling like distant promises. Little did Barnaby and Zara know that their journey was only beginning, and the true challenges of the savannah were yet to unfold. The days that followed the tense standoff at the Oasis were marked by a subtle shift in the savannah's atmosphere. Conversations that once revolved solely around daily survival now included discussions about unity and the unexpected presence of Barnaby, the polar bear. While some animals remained skeptical, others began to see the potential benefits of embracing diversity within their community. Barnaby and Zara continued to explore the savannah together, their bond growing stronger with each shared experience. They ventured into areas of the grasslands that Barnaby had never seen before, and in turn, Zara learned about the unique perspectives and strengths that Barnaby brought from his unfamiliar world. Their companionship became a beacon of hope, illustrating that differences could indeed lead to powerful alliances. One late afternoon, as the golden sun cast long shadows across the land, Barnaby and Zara discovered an unusual formation near the base of a towering termite mound. Intricate patterns etched into the earth hinted at something deliberate and possibly man-made. Intrigued, they decided to investigate further. As they approached, the ground beneath them seemed to hum with an energy that was both unfamiliar and mesmerizing. The patterns glowed faintly, pulsating in rhythm with the setting sun. Zara stretched her long neck to get a better view, while Barnaby sniffed the air, sensing something beyond the ordinary. Suddenly, the ground trembled, and a hidden compartment beneath the termite mound began to open, revealing a concealed chamber. From within emerged an array of artifacts, ancient tools, faded maps, and mysterious symbols that neither of them could decipher. The discovery hinted at a forgotten history, one that perhaps explained the polar bear's inexplicable presence in the savannah. As they sifted through the artifacts, Zara noticed a peculiar map that depicted the savannah with markings that extended beyond its current boundaries. Annotations in a language neither could understand suggested that this place held secrets waiting to be uncovered. The map seemed to hint at other anomalies, other creatures out of place, scattered across the vast landscape. Unbeknownst to them, their discovery did not go unnoticed. The shadowy figure who had been watching Barnaby and Zara from the dense foliage was none other than Mamba, a cunning and ambitious python with a hidden agenda. Mamba had long harbored resentment towards the natural order of the savannah and saw the recent events as an opportunity to seize power. Mamba slithered silently towards the chamber, eyes gleaming with calculated intent. The serpent had observed the interactions between Barnaby and Zara closely, recognizing the potential threat their unity posed to his own plans. If the savannah were to embrace diversity and cooperation, it would undermine his vision of control and dominance. Inside the chamber, Barnaby and Zara examined the map, unaware of the impending danger. Zara traced the lines with her hoof, trying to make sense of the complex routes and symbols. This map, it suggests there are more anomalies like you, Barnaby. Places where things don't quite belong. Barnaby looked thoughtful, his deep eyes reflecting the weight of their discovery. If that's true, then perhaps my presence here isn't as random as we thought. There might be a reason behind all of this. Their contemplation was interrupted by the sound of soft hissing. Barnaby turned instinctively, his senses on high alert. Emerging from the shadows was Mamba, his sleek form coiling gracefully as he approached them. His eyes were cold and calculating, a stark contrast to the warmth Zara exuded. "Fascinating finds you have here," Mamba hissed smoothly. "But such discoveries could disrupt the delicate balance of our home." Zara stepped protectively in front of Barnaby, her eyes narrowing. "We seek understanding, not disruption. These artifacts could help us coexist more harmoniously." Mamba chuckled, a sound devoid of true amusement. "Harmony is a fragile illusion. Power dictates the true order. You and your newfound friendship threaten to change that dynamic." Barnaby took a step forward, his presence imposing. "We don't want conflict, Mamba. There's enough strife without adding to it." Mamba's tongue flickered, tasting the tension in the air. "Perhaps. Or perhaps it's time for a new order. One where strength prevails over sentiment. Before the confrontation could escalate, a distant roar echoed through the savannah, drawing the attention of all present. The ground beneath them quivered as a massive shadow loomed on the horizon, another giant serpent, even larger and more formidable than the one Barnaby had defeated. It was clear that the savannah was on the brink of chaos, and the fragile peace they had begun to build was about to be tested once more. As the trio faced the impending threat, the true extent of the challenges ahead became evident. Barnaby and Zara realized that their journey was not just about finding acceptance but also about safeguarding the harmony of the entire savannah against forces that sought to disrupt it. The impending threat of the massive serpent loomed over the savannah like a dark omen. The animals sensed the tension in the air, their usual rhythms disrupted by the anxiety of the unknown danger. Barnaby and Zara stood resolute, understanding that their actions could determine the fate of their community. Mamba, the cunning python, had retreated for the time being, but his eyes still burned with a mixture of envy and determination. He was not one to accept defeat easily, especially not when his vision of dominance was at stake. The arrival of the giant serpent only heightened his resolve to seize control. As the days passed, the giant serpent, whom the animals began to call Nyoka, became an ever-present shadow on the horizon. Its presence was unsettling, a constant reminder that the savannah was on the brink of chaos. The animals grew restless, their fear palpable as Nyoka's movements grew more frequent and aggressive. Barnaby and Zara knew that they had to act. The harmony they were striving to build was fragile, and Nyoka threatened to shatter it. They decided to seek out the origins of the mysterious map they had found, believing that it might hold the key to understanding the anomalies plaguing the savannah. Their journey led them to the outskirts of the savannah, where the land gave way to dense forests and rugged terrain. It was here that they encountered Temba, a wise old tortoise known for his knowledge of ancient lore and forgotten histories. Temba had witnessed the changing landscapes and the emergence of unusual phenomena long before Barnaby's arrival. "Welcome, travelers," Temba greeted them with a slow, deliberate nod. "I sensed your quest and felt compelled to offer my assistance." Barnaby explained their discovery of the map and the appearance of Nyoka. Temba listened intently, his aged eyes reflecting the weight of his wisdom. "The map you hold is no ordinary chart," Temba began. "It speaks of the balance, a delicate equilibrium between all living things in the savannah. The anomalies you mention are disruptions in this balance, caused by forces that seek to tip the scales in their favor." Zara tilted her head, intrigued. "How can we restore the balance? And what role does Nyoka play in all of this?" Temba sighed, his shell creaking with the movement. "Nyoka is a manifestation of imbalance. Her presence signifies that something or someone is attempting to dominate and disrupt the natural order. To restore harmony, you must identify the source of this disruption and address it directly." As they delved deeper into the map's secrets, Temba revealed that the savannah was once home to a council of diverse creatures who maintained the balance. However, over time, the council had disbanded, leading to the rise of individuals like Mamba who sought power for themselves. Realizing that Mamba might be the key to restoring the balance, Barnaby and Zara knew they had to confront him. But approaching a figure as cunning and ambitious as Mamba required careful planning and unwavering courage. Meanwhile, Nyoka's presence grew more menacing. Her attacks became more frequent, and the savannah's inhabitants lived in constant fear. The tension reached a boiling point when Nyoka launched a direct assault on the Oasis, threatening to destroy the sanctuary that Barnaby and Zara had come to cherish. In the heat of the battle, as Nyoka coiled around the acacia trees, Barnaby and Zara sprang into action. Zara used her agility to distract the serpent, while Barnaby employed his strength to protect the vulnerable animals. Their coordinated efforts showcased the power of unity and cooperation, inspiring the other animals to join the fight. Amidst the chaos, Mamba made his move. Slithering through the fray with calculated precision, he aimed to eliminate both Nyoka and Barnaby, viewing them as threats to his ambition. However, his plan backfired when Zara, recognizing his treachery, intervened just in time, turning the tide of the battle. Nyoka, weakened by the combined efforts of the Savannah's inhabitants, retreated into the wilderness, her reign of terror temporarily halted. The aftermath left the Savannah scarred but united, with the animals beginning to rebuild what had been lost. In the quiet that followed, Temba approached Barnaby and Zara, a sense of pride evident in his eyes. "You have taken the first steps towards restoring the balance. But the journey is far from over. There are deeper secrets and greater challenges ahead." As night fell, the savannah glowed under a canopy of stars, each one a silent witness to the unfolding saga. Barnaby and Zara stood together, aware that their bond was stronger than ever, ready to face whatever the future held. The savannah had begun to heal from the chaos unleashed by Nyoka's assault. Life slowly returned to its rhythmic cadence, with animals resuming their daily routines beneath the vast African sky. Yet, beneath the surface, the remnants of fear and uncertainty lingered, a testament to the recent turmoil. Barnaby and Zara found solace in their burgeoning friendship, their bond a beacon of hope amidst the lingering shadows. They continued their quest to restore the balance, guided by the ancient map and the wisdom imparted by Temba. Each day brought new challenges, but also new discoveries that deepened their understanding of the savannah's intricate ecosystem. One morning, as the first light of dawn painted the horizon in hues of pink and orange, Barnaby and Zara set out to explore a region marked on the map as the Whispering Plains. This area was shrouded in mystery, rumored to hold secrets from a time long forgotten. Accompanied by Temba, they ventured into the uncharted territory, eager to uncover the truths that lay hidden. The Whispering Plains were unlike any part of the savannah they had encountered before. The grasses swayed in patterns that seemed almost intentional, and the air was thick with an otherworldly stillness. As they progressed, the trio stumbled upon ancient stone structures partially buried in the earth, their surfaces etched with symbols that mirrored those on the map. Temba approached one of the stones, his eyes narrowing as he traced the carvings with his flippered feet. "These markings tell the story of the council," he murmured. "A coalition of diverse species who once governed the savannah, ensuring harmony and balance." Zara tilted her head, absorbing the information. "What happened to the council?" Temba sighed, the weight of history evident in his slow movements. Over time, differences emerged, and the unity that held the council together began to crumble. Power struggles and misunderstandings led to its dissolution, paving the way for figures like Mamba to rise. Barnaby frowned, the pieces of the puzzle slowly coming together. "If the council failed because of division, perhaps we can learn from their mistakes to prevent history from repeating itself." Their exploration was interrupted by a faint sound, a soft humming that seemed to emanate from the stones themselves. The ground beneath them began to tremble gently, and a soft light enveloped the structures, revealing hidden pathways and chambers that had remained concealed for centuries. As they delved deeper into the underground passages, they discovered a vast library of knowledge, scrolls, tablets, and artifacts that chronicled the history and wisdom of the savannah's ancestors. Among the treasures was a detailed account of the balance, outlining rituals and practices that maintained equilibrium between all living things. Zara carefully examined a scroll, her eyes widening with realization. "These rituals, they could help us restore the balance. If we follow them, perhaps we can prevent further disruptions." Barnaby nodded, determination etched on his face. "Then let's not waste any time. We have much to learn and even more to do." Meanwhile, Mamba watched from the shadows, his mind racing with the implications of Barnaby and Zara's discoveries. The ancient knowledge threatened his carefully constructed plans for dominance, and he knew he had to act swiftly to maintain his grip on power. As the trio immersed themselves in the ancient wisdom, they began to formulate a plan to counter the forces that sought to destabilize the savannah. The path ahead was fraught with uncertainty, but their newfound knowledge provided a glimmer of hope, a chance to mend the fractures that had long plagued their community. Armed with the ancient rituals and a renewed sense of purpose, Barnaby, Zara, and Temba returned to the heart of the savannah. They knew that restoring the balance would require not only knowledge but also the collective effort of all its inhabitants. It was time to bridge the divides that had fragmented their community and forge a united front against the forces that threatened their way of life. Their first step was to convene a gathering beneath the ancient baobab tree, a symbol of strength and resilience. Word of their discoveries had spread, and animals from all corners of the savannah began to assemble, curious and hopeful about the possibility of change. Leo, the lion, stood at the forefront, his presence commanding respect. Beside him were Ellie the elephant, Keto the cheetah, and representatives from every species, each bringing their unique perspectives and strengths to the assembly. Barnaby took a deep breath, his large frame poised with confidence. Friends, we've come together today because our savannah is facing unprecedented challenges. But within these challenges lies an opportunity, a chance to restore the balance and ensure a harmonious future for all of us. Zara stepped forward, her graceful demeanor captivating the audience. The ancient wisdom we've uncovered teaches us that unity and cooperation are the keys to maintaining harmony. We must set aside our differences and work together to protect our home. Temba added, the rituals and practices outlined in these texts are designed to reinforce the bonds between us, fostering understanding and mutual respect. It's time to revive the principles that once guided our ancestors. As the animals listened, a sense of anticipation filled the air. The idea of unity resonated deeply, stirring memories of a time when collaboration and collective effort were the norm. Yet, lingering doubts and fears remained, remnants of past conflicts and divisions. Leo stepped forward, his voice steady. Change is never easy, and I understand that trust must be earned. But if we are to survive and thrive, we must embrace this path together. Ellie, with her years of experience, spoke of the importance of empathy and communication. Keto emphasized the need for swift action and adaptability, traits that had kept the savannah resilient through countless trials. Inspired by their leaders, the animals began to open up, sharing their concerns and ideas. Discussions flowed freely, each voice contributing to a growing consensus. The once fragmented community found common ground, united by a shared desire to protect their home and each other. As the sun set, casting a warm glow over the gathering, Barnaby and Zara felt a profound sense of accomplishment. They had ignited a spark of hope, laying the foundation for a united effort to restore the balance. However, unbeknownst to them, Mamba was watching from a distance, his mind weaving schemes to undermine their progress. The unity forming among the animals threatened his ambitions, and he was determined to disrupt their efforts at any cost. With the assembly's momentum, Barnaby, Zara, and Temba spearheaded initiatives to implement the ancient rituals and practices. Training sessions were held under the baobab tree, where animals learned techniques to communicate more effectively, resolve conflicts peacefully, and collaborate on common goals. One such initiative was the establishment of the Guardians of the Savannah, a coalition tasked with monitoring and addressing any disturbances to the balance. The Guardians comprised representatives from each species, ensuring that every voice was heard and valued. As the weeks turned into months, the savannah began to transform. Relationships that had once been strained blossomed into friendships, and the community grew stronger with each passing day. The rituals reinforced the bonds between the animals, fostering a sense of belonging and purpose. Barnaby found himself at the center of this transformation, his presence now embraced rather than feared. His resilience and unwavering commitment inspired others, proving that even the most unlikely individuals could effect meaningful change. Zara, too, thrived in her role, her curiosity and empathy guiding the community towards greater understanding. Together, they navigated the complexities of their diverse ecosystem, finding innovative solutions to challenges that once seemed insurmountable. However, as harmony blossomed, so did the shadows of dissent. Mamba, ever the strategist, saw the growing unity as a direct threat to his ambitions. Determined to reclaim control, he began to sow seeds of discord, exploiting lingering fears and prejudices to fracture the community once more. His machinations were subtle, masked by whispers and insinuations that played on the animals' insecurities. Old rivalries were reignited, and doubts about the effectiveness of the rituals began to surface. The once steadfast unity now teetered on the brink of collapse, teetering between harmony and chaos. One evening, as the community gathered for a celebratory feast, Mamba struck. He slithered onto the clearing, his eyes gleaming with malevolent intent. "Look at you all," he hissed, his voice dripping with contempt. "Pretending that these rituals can solve everything. You're forgetting who you truly are, predators and prey, destined to clash." The assembly fell silent, the weight of his words sinking in. Leo, maintaining his composure, addressed the crowd. "Mamba, your concerns are noted, but these rituals are a testament to our commitment to coexist peacefully. We cannot let fear and division dictate our actions." Mamba's eyes narrowed, his frustration palpable. Peace is a facade. True strength lies in dominance and control. Without it, you'll never truly be safe. Before the tension could escalate further, a loud commotion erupted at the edge of the clearing. A group of young zebras, inspired by Barnaby and Zara's leadership, had organized a demonstration of unity, showcasing the benefits of collaboration and mutual support. Their display, filled with coordinated movements and harmonious interactions, captured the attention of all present. Moved by the spectacle, many animals began to reconsider Mamba's words, recognizing the tangible improvements brought about by their united efforts. Mamba, sensing his influence waning, retreated into the shadows, his plans thwarted for the time being. Yet, the seeds of doubt had been planted, and the community faced a critical juncture. Could they maintain their newfound unity in the face of internal challenges, or would old patterns resurface, undoing the progress they had achieved? As the Savannah grappled with the aftermath of Mamba's incursion, Barnaby and Zara knew that their mission was far from over. The unity they had cultivated was fragile, vulnerable to the undercurrents of dissent and fear. Determined to reinforce the community's bonds, they sought out Temba's counsel once more. Temba, wise and contemplative, shared his insights on the nature of balance. The balance is not a static state but a dynamic equilibrium, constantly adjusting to the ebb and flow of life. Our unity must be resilient, capable of withstanding the tempests that seek to disrupt it. Inspired by his words, Barnaby and Zara proposed a series of initiatives aimed at strengthening the community's cohesion. Workshops on conflict resolution, collaborative projects to enhance the Savannah's resources, and cultural exchanges to celebrate each species' unique contributions became integral parts of their strategy. Meanwhile, Mamba, undeterred by his previous setback, intensified his efforts to destabilize the community. He formed clandestine alliances with those still harboring resentment and fear, orchestrating events designed to reignite old rivalries and sow discord. One fateful night, under the cover of darkness, Mamba unleashed his most audacious plan yet, a coordinated attack designed to fracture the community and plunge the Savannah back into chaos. He targeted key figures, including Leo and Ellie, aiming to weaken the leadership and dismantle the guardians of the Savannah. The assault was swift and brutal. Leo found himself ensnared in Mamba's trap, struggling against the python's formidable strength. Ellie, using her wisdom and experience, attempted to negotiate, but Mamba's resolve was unyielding. The Savannah erupted into turmoil as fear and confusion spread like wildfire. Barnaby and Zara, alerted by the commotion, rushed to the scene, their hearts pounding with urgency. The sight of their leaders in peril galvanized them into action. Rallying the Guardians and the broader community, they launched a coordinated defense against Mamba's forces. The ensuing battle was fierce, a clash of wills and strength that echoed across the Savannah. Barnaby's sheer power and Zara's agility proved invaluable, as they fought side by side to protect their friends and uphold the unity they had worked so hard to build. Amidst the chaos, Temba unveiled an ancient relic from the underground chamber, a staff imbued with the wisdom and power of the council. Channeling its energy, he created a protective barrier that thwarted Mamba's attacks, providing the Guardians with the upper hand. Realizing that brute force alone would not defeat Mamba, Barnaby devised a strategy that leveraged the community's collective strengths. Coordinated efforts, inspired by their shared commitment to the balance, began to turn the tide of the battle. Cornered and outmatched, Mamba made a desperate final attempt to seize control. In a climactic confrontation, Barnaby faced the Python, their clash symbolizing the struggle between unity and division. With a mighty roar, Barnaby subdued Mamba, ensuring that his threat was neutralized once and for all. As the dust settled, the Savannah stood united, having weathered the storm of internal conflict. Leo and Ellie, though shaken, emerged from the ordeal with renewed determination to lead their community towards lasting harmony. In the aftermath of the battle, the Savannah began the process of healing once more. The unity forged through adversity proved resilient, solidifying the bonds between species and reinforcing their commitment to maintaining the balance. Barnaby, Zara, and Temba were hailed as heroes, their leadership instrumental in overcoming the challenges that had threatened their community. Yet, amidst the celebrations, a lingering sense of unease persisted, an unspoken question about the true nature of Barnaby's presence in the Savannah. One evening, as the sun set in a blaze of crimson and gold, Zara approached Barnaby with a mixture of curiosity and concern. "Barnaby, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. Why do you really think you ended up here? Is there more to your story than meets the eye?" Barnaby looked out over the Savannah, his eyes reflecting the fading light. "I've wondered the same thing, Zara. My arrival here was inexplicable, and these recent events seem to be connected to my presence in ways I can't fully comprehend." Their conversation was interrupted by Temba, who carried an ancient scroll from the underground chamber. "I believe it's time for you both to uncover the final piece of the puzzle," he announced, his voice tinged with urgency. Gathering beneath the baobab tree, the trio unrolled the scroll, revealing a detailed account of the Savannah's history and the mystical forces that governed it. The document spoke of celestial alignments, elemental energies, and the role of unique individuals in maintaining the balance. As they delved deeper into the text, a startling revelation emerged: the arrival of Barnaby was no mere coincidence. The ancient writings foretold the coming of a being from a distant realm, destined to play a pivotal role in restoring and preserving the balance. Barnaby was the prophesied guardian, his presence a catalyst for the Savannah's resurgence. Zara's eyes widened with realization. "So, my curiosity led me to you for a reason. Together, we're meant to ensure the Savannah's harmony." Barnaby nodded, a sense of purpose filling him. "I may not fully understand my origins, but I know now that my place is here, alongside all of you. Our destinies are intertwined." As they absorbed the significance of the revelation, a radiant light enveloped them, a manifestation of the celestial energies described in the scroll. The air shimmered with magic, and the ground beneath their feet thrummed with life. From the light emerged an ethereal figure, a guardian spirit, embodying the essence of the Savannah itself. Barnaby, Zara, and Temba, the spirit intoned, its voice resonating with ancient wisdom. "You have fulfilled your roles in restoring the balance. Your unity and resilience have ensured the Savannah's prosperity for generations to come." The spirit extended a translucent hand, bestowing upon Barnaby a medallion that pulsed with energy. "This emblem signifies your bond with the Savannah. Use it wisely, for you are now its protectors and stewards." As the light faded, the medallion remained, a tangible reminder of their responsibilities and the journey they had undertaken. The Savannah, bathed in the spirit's glow, stood as a testament to the power of unity and the enduring strength of its inhabitants. In the days that followed, the Savannah flourished like never before. The animals, inspired by their shared experiences, continued to uphold the principles of the balance, fostering a community built on trust, respect, and cooperation. Barnaby and Zara, now recognized as the Savannah's guardians, embraced their roles with humility and dedication. Their friendship, forged in adversity, became a symbol of hope and resilience, inspiring generations to come. As the seasons changed and the Savannah thrived, the legacy of Barnaby, Zara, and their companions endured, a reminder that even the most unlikely alliances could reshape the world, ensuring that harmony and balance prevailed against all odds. Years passed, and the Savannah became a haven of harmony and prosperity. The ancient rituals and practices were passed down through generations, ingraining the values of unity and cooperation into the very fabric of the community. Barnaby, now older and wiser, stood atop a hill overlooking the land he had come to love. Beside him, Zara grazed peacefully, her long neck reaching for the tender shoots that symbolized growth and renewal. Temba, ever the sage, recounted stories of their adventures to young listeners, ensuring that the lessons of the past remained alive in the hearts of the future. The guardians of the Savannah continued their vigilant watch, safeguarding the balance against any threats that might arise. One crisp morning, as the first rays of sunlight kissed the horizon, a familiar shimmer appeared in the sky, a reminder of the celestial energies that had guided them. Barnaby felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing that he had found his place in this vast and vibrant world. As the Savannah awoke to a new day, the legacy of Barnaby and Zara lived on, a testament to the enduring power of friendship, courage, and the unwavering belief in a harmonious future. Their story became a legend, inspiring all who walked the Savannah to strive for unity and embrace the diversity that made their community strong. And so, under the watchful gaze of the ancient baobab tree and the ever-present stars above, the Savannah thrived, a beacon of balance and harmony, forever shaped by the unlikely alliance of a polar bear and a curious giraffe who dared to change the world.